Getting down with the rut-row, getting down with the rut-row, rut-row.
Getting down with the rut-row. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of They
Deserve
to Know.
Duh.
For today, we have a very exciting topic we're going to dive deeper into, which is personal branding and what it means to be Gen Z and how to build your brand at work.
Oh my God, it's a really exciting topic, you guys. Something that I think Juan and I have excelled at. So really excited to be sharing some tips today. Before we get there, though, I want to show off something. Okay,
let's see it.
Okay, last time I talked about a spiral moment being makeup, right? As y'all know, Juan and I, we love spending money. So basically, I had to glammed up for you baddies today. I hope y'all appreciate the look-see. I hope you guys enjoy the glam. I'm gonna be so excited. I want it to look pretty for you all. That being said, do you want to jump us over to our outfits?
Okay, we're gonna go through outfits. For our outfits today, as you can see, these are Canadian tuxedos. Ruh-roh, which is also supposed to be called a Texan tuxedo, which I didn't know existed or was a thing.
The Cowboys?
Yeah, but should we get closer to the camera? Okay, so yes, I am wearing a tank top today, ruh-roh, with a Canadian tux. Yeah, full on denim on denim.
Same thing too. It's very Cowboy Carter-esque.
Yo.
This is thrifted from the Crossroad Market. What is that? Bose area. It's a Levi's and it's like the San Francisco brand, which is awesome because we're in San Francisco again.
Yeah.
Yay! And ponytail. Juan looks like I do little bubbles, but today I did a braid. Next episode I'll have a bubble for Mr. Juan. But there's the outfits for today. Hope you guys are enjoying the little theme we have going on. If you guys have any recs.
Let us know what we should be wearing next. We love wearing new things and like trying outfits.
And we'll probably buy it. So like,
we'll buy it. Just send it.
Let us know.
It can be a manic episode of the week. So just send us the outfit you want us to wear.
Spiral moment indeed.
Of the week. Exactly.
But you mentioned it already. You teased it up already. Important topic for today. Juan.
Yes. We're talking about personal branding. And everything is so overwhelming when you're in corporate. Right?
Everything's so confusing sometimes.
Everything's so confusing, girl. So confusing sometimes. And in corporate, something that's really important is personal branding and understanding how you show up authentically at work while also making sure you're strategic in what it is that you're trying to accomplish and also always just quantifying the impact that you have in your job and not showing off necessarily, but like also making sure people know what your brand is.
Fully agree. And it's something that I think will only help you in your career. Not only will people remember you and be like, oh wow, like I have an issue with something, I'm gonna reach out to this person with someone. I do want you to share, on Juan's desk, you have a whiteboard. This is Juan's brand in a nutshell. And to the day, I'm like, yes and yes. I want you to share that whiteboard.
Okay, so in my desk, I have so basically I have been in the role for 4 years now and I've seen a lot of clients, I've done a lot of digital marketing and on this whiteboard says PhD in ads. So I have PhD in ads and my MD is in scaling projects. So I have a PhD in ads, MD in scaling projects, and also I have office hours. And so on my little whiteboard, on my office, not my office, my desk, it literally says office hours Tuesday through Thursday at this time through this time. And people walk by and they're like, Professor Alba. I'm like, period. I am Professor Alba. So
I had to put you on the spot there because it truly is one of those moments of personal branding. You make it something, it can seem so difficult, but if you're not taking those little opportunities where a whiteboard on your desk to just share what you're good at, I think it's a missed opportunity, and I'm glad that Juan has made it a point to be like, yes and yes. If you need help, come to this office hour.
Come to these office hours. And when I think about my office hours, for example, let me just give you the inside scoop. When I think of my office hours, when you're helping other people, it's great, but you also need to be able to document it, right? So I love helping as many people as I can, but I just need to write down some data as to who it is that I'm helping, what accounts am I helping them on? How much revenue goes through those accounts, right? So keeping literally a physical tab of who are the people that I'm helping, what's the impact that I'm having, just so I can then talk about it with my manager and be like, hey, look at all these people that I helped. This is how much like revenue I helped like with my clients or with these other people's clients. And I think it's really important.
100%.
Think of fun ways. Brittany, while we're in the topic of desks, what is in your desk, Miss Girl?
Okay, so my desk is also very Gen Z, and I will share our desk concept right now at our office is open seating. So desks are not assigned right now. But my desk, I have these Patricks. If you go to my desk, you will like literally
the Patrick Star.
Like Patrick Star, and it's two of them, and one of them actually, one of my account executives he gifted it to me because he was like, this reminds me of you, and so he gifted me this like Patrick, and now I have these two little Patricks. I'll see if I can drop a photo right here, maybe one of your whiteboard too.
Yep.
Boop. Boop. And I think that has helped me become synonymous with not only someone that like loves SpongeBob, loves memes, and loves communicating in emojis, but also someone that's really good at revenue. And the concept of that is that the Patrick has like a $3 like bills, like $3 bills, and it comes from the fact that I just feel like I'm really good at that. I definitely do think that desks are important, even if it's this little cubicle, you guys. Like, make your desk your space. You spend 8 to 5 there. You might as well make it a comfortable moment for you, and hopefully try to share some stuff too.
I agree. I think something that Gen Z or like millennials do, right? Like, and not to talk down on millennials, love y'all. Millennials, you are my heart. But y'all put like family pictures or you make it really personal. I would say if you're Gen Z, I would just make it personal, but make it fun and make it quirky and like work related.
Make
right?
it memorable.
Make it memorable. So something I literally bought, so my brand also is like Gen Z, right? And I always talk about TikTok Shop. Oh my God, I love TikTok Shop. And I literally bought that like little machine that has like pop sockets, and I literally put it on my desk for people to like just want to come by and play with it.
They play with it though. That's
and
the
they
thing.
come and play it. They're like, oh my God, this is so fun. Oh my God. And then I tell them about my manic episodes on TikTok Shop. They eat it up.
Eat it up. I will say that when you can be funny, I feel like that's also like how we have built connections, is that we're also just very funny people. Like I feel like that humor just comes from like you're just trying out things, you're saying things.
Don't
like,
take it too seriously.
Yeah. I definitely think like they're also people too, and if they're like in your work, and obviously it's obviously very dependent on like the job you're in, but I do think like managers, your coworkers are people too, and being funny I think just goes such a long way. So I definitely agree with that.
Aww.
It's all about being memorable, and like I love my little Patricks. When I saw Juan's desk, I was like, this is Juan's desk. I already knew. I was like, this is his desk, because I know he happens to be really good at scaling projects. I know that if I wanted help with that, which I have needed help with that, Juan is really good at being able to voice, hey, I need you to do this. So I definitely think it comes down to like just finding things to make your desk you, and hopefully people start to remember you.
Okay, this is random. Are you a monitor girly?
I am a monitor girly.
Really?
Wait, yeah.
I hate monitors. I don't know. I think I'm just like
Oh.
used to like being in college and having my little laptop and just getting everything done there.
Hot take.
Yeah, hot take. Are you guys a monitor girly or not? Because I feel like, I don't know, is that a Gen Z thing? Maybe we can make a survey about this and figure out, do people like monitors or not, and what's Gen Z's status on this?
Are you calling me millennial?
Not millennial.
Love them
Millennial
though.
monitors.
Okay, wait. I am a monitor girly pop. I fear. I am a monitor. I just to be able to plug in my laptop and then I can see like the two screens. I'm very much a dual like screen moment girl.
Okay, also, I know someone at my job who has an iPad, which I think is like so interesting.
Oh, okay.
You connect your iPad and your computer, which also could be like a hybrid. So let us know, are you doing iPads? Are you doing monitor?
What are you doing? Are you doing your little 10-inch screen? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I
Your
don't know.
poor eyes, Juan.
I know. Okay, also,
Girl.
something else crazy about me is I was the first class in high school to have only iPads.
Oh.
So my entire high school career, like my AP classes was textbooks, but all my other non-AP classes was all on the iPad, which is really interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so maybe that's just like something unique. I'm like an iPad kid. Like I literally play iPad every day.
Unique?
Unique? Literally.
Wow.
Are you an iPad girly?
I had one in college. She was cute for keeping time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's it? Not the watch.
I would have her like
Girl.
open, and then I would just have it like timing me as I was like studying and stuff. But I'm very much like a monitor girl for sure. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I never thought about that being the other thing.
Yeah.
Let us know though, guys. Actually, let us know. Are monitors in or out.
Or out. Oh, yeah.
Or in or
Or
out.
out.
I do want to question a little bit deeper too. Juan, you made a great brand about branding projects, scaling
yeah.
them and all. How did you make that your brand? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's my core belief about working in corporate and also maybe specifically sales, but just overall in corporate. People want to be entertained.
Oh, we did talk about this in our first episode. There's
Yes,
two types of
go-
people in the world.
Two types of people are they? I don't know. What are they? Watch your first episode. Anyway, I believe that people want to be entertained because everyone is there. You're there to do your job, right? Everyone has things outside of work. So something I think about that always has made me very successful is how can I bring things with excitement and energy to make them fun? Nobody wants to fill out that spreadsheet. Nobody wants to take extra work and do these things. But if you make it engaging and like a fun experience for them, they're gonna like it. It's like when you have a kid, right? Like if you want them to eat the vegetables, make it a fun experience for them to eat the vegetables. Don't
Very
just
true.
tell them to eat the vegetables. And so that's how I apply my concepts to scaling projects. I always think of ways to make it fun. And I actually bring a lot of my experience from like Britney, because Britney is incredible at doing emojis. Like I literally reply with emojis now, but like Britney is the queen. Oh my God, her stickers. I start sending people stickers. You guys should see some of these stickers, guys. I think we can put some over here.
Girl.
I don't know.
Girl.
But it's incredible. But that's my philosophy. What about you?
I agree too. I definitely do think, I mean, you brought it up already, and I brought it up earlier too. The stickers for me became synonymous with Britney. Like in college and high school, like I made it a point to always find like, the randomest emojis and I would send it to chat. And then one day at work, this is the first manager we had, someone, it might have even been Juan, someone shared like a success story and I reacted with the gorilla emoji. At work, guys, and this is a gorilla, like a whoop,
Like, whoop.
you know?
Yeah,
And it was
literally.
just like to like pounce, because you're feeling like the baddest and you are the baddest, so like why not? You're pouncing on this. So I sent a gorilla emoji, and ever since then, like the legacy was made. Like truly, like everyone now uses the legacy, like they use a gorilla emoji, they'll use like a slay button, and I think it was just an easy way for me to share who I was and like scale it out literally. There's also like Patrick emojis also, which I just shared.
The
I
Patrick
love
star.
Patrick.
There's one with Patrick with nails. I love that one.
I always send that
Yeah.
one too, because I just think it's so funny, and once you start doing that, you become like the first person to do it, and like all it takes is one other person to
Follow along.
and then bam, it becomes like a
It's
normal
your thing. So like Britney literally would just start these emoji trains and then everyone was like, even if it was not her work, it was somebody else's success.
Yeah.
Because Britney's related to it by everyone using her emojis, that's how she became known as a very successful person as well.
It's true. We'll do an emoji breakdown eventually. There's also a rat and a skunk we use frequently.
Yes.
For now, we'll keep it cute. We'll share the gorilla one because
Yeah.
it really, I think it just takes something funny like that, and yeah, it really just makes you memorable. And I feel like people think it's funny, and then people just want to do it because it's like, why are you reacting with the gorilla? What? And yeah, I just
Check
love
our
that
link
one.
tree. We have some ideas in there.
Oh, it's so true.
But guys, don't be afraid to use these emojis. Like literally, we challenge everyone. Test sending emoji or like a fun emoji on Slack or whatever channel you use. Just try it and see if people, and just keep using it. Maybe use it for a week.
Yeah.
And then see how your life will change after that.
I'm telling you guys, it makes it so fun. Like, I think it's so funny. And like the stickers, I wish that our company let us use stickers. I think that they are so funny also. But, and even my personal friends and my family, they know I'm going to react with the sticker. My dad also now makes it a point to react with the sticker also.
Are you
Because he
serious?
knows. Yes. And one of my friends actually created his little Bitmoji. And now he responds with,
What emojis?
like, he knows to respond with that. So he just matches
That's
the energy.
stupid.
And point is, hopefully other people will too.
Yeah, so definitely. And I think we will definitely go into non-verbal communication
True.
later on,
Yes.
which is going to be a huge topic, something we're both very passionate about. But a lot of this work just translates to how can you communicate with people non-verbally, right? And it's almost like psychological in that you have to make your brand known for something. And for us, it's just always been being funny, but also being high achievers and just having fun with like actually achieving and doing well.
Exactly. And I feel like for our job too, like we mentioned, we're in sales, and I think it's like what helped me also find my brand, besides like the emojis pieces too, was like I loved working on revenue. Like I feel like that was something that I found so much success with, and that I also was able to collaborate with leadership with. And I do think if you can find something that about your brand that helps either other teammates like learn something more efficiently, or if your manager can help sponsor you on this, which is what Revenue Unlock for me was. I work with multiple managers on different clients. I think it definitely just helps you build up your brand while also like simultaneously like building up your career.
100%.
I think that's totally like a fair shot there.
Okay, but also I do think we should also give a quick warning about this.
Okay.
Because how do you feel about doing these emoji things with clients?
No, I will caveat with that. I will say I do work in a commerce role, which means Black Friday and Cyber Monday are really important for us. And when I was sending them emails, I would add, say for example, it was a fitness equipment client, I would add little dumbbells.
Okay.
And they thought it was so funny.
Oh, they liked it.
Yes, but I think it definitely
Oh.
depends. Like same thing with your leadership and same thing with your team and your clients. It definitely will depend on the relationship you have with them. You obviously want to stay professional, yes, and I think that only comes with a long-term relationship with a client is that you can joke around, you hear about the vacations to like Mexico, for example. At that point, I think you're in a good spot to send emojis. Yeah.
Or another thing, I know we're talking a lot about emojis. Something else that we like did, or I did in the beginning of my career, I stopped, is puns. People love a good pun. And like, for example, my name is Juan, the Juan and Juan noodle soup, blah, 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 Juan Direction. There's so...
Now you're having, he's like an arsenal of this.
Literally, guys, like, there is no...
Like, he's ready.
No.
The personal brand is so sad.
It's ready, guys. Or like anything Juan won. That was also another way to captivate people. And I know there's another girl in our team who was really great at puns.
Yes.
And that's another great way to build. If you don't want to maybe do your emojis, do the puns, right? Try to be a little bit quirky.
Yes, and it definitely just comes down to also what you want to be known at. And I think you mentioned we're talking a lot about like emoji puns. I think it's a way to be funny and to also like share who you are while also being at work. And there's definitely other ways to like scaling projects. I think is really impactful. We're gonna have a deep session on that later on too, which we're really excited to share about that. But also, again, I think having the agenda is something I've noticed about Juan, and I think I do the same thing too. Where on my agenda, I would have Britney, my manager's name, and then I would add the gorillas.
Just
Just
I love
to like
that.
keep the brand going. But you also call your agenda something special.
My agenda, something special. I actually...
You call it Juan and Only, no?
Oh.
You call it Juan on Juan.
Juan on Juan. Yes, yes.
Girl.
Juan on Juan. Or if I do a training, I'll be like cold call training Juan on Juan, right? Yes, find fun ways. Emojis, puns. That is our biggest lesson for today.
Yes, 100%. It all just comes with like also testing stuff out. And I think, what's I going to say? Letting leadership know what you're up to.
Yes.
That's something I think that I've also been trying to do more of, is also like just making sure like you're actually going to leadership with ideas, with maybe with problems and solutions, but also, hey, I'm thinking about this idea. What do you think about this? And I think getting their buy-in, I think is also just a part of that personal brand for sure.
Totally. I hear you. Okay. I know we're talking a lot about corporate. Let's do a quick shift and then we'll come back into our final
Let's do it.
last bit of today. What are we going to talk about, Brittany?
Spiral moment of the
week.
Rawr.
Right.
Spiral
So the
moment.
week.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Juani.
Spiral moment of the week. Okay, I have spiraled on trips this July. I am literally going to Mexico. Then we're going to Italy with our friends. Wow, I'm so excited. We're gonna have a fun episode for y'all there, hopefully. And then I'm going to New York. We're going to New York to stay with our bestie. So a lot of spiraling in buying trips, hotels, trip planning. Like literally, I am so excited for summer. It's hot girl summer. Y'all better get ready. Follow us on our Instagram to stay up to date as to what we're doing at They Deserve to Know podcast. And we will have a lot of fun updates for y'all. But anyway, that is my spiral moment. Brittany, take it away.
I also have a couple. So let's see. Okay, so last week I did go on my first vacation in a long time. As I was landing in Puerto Rico for the first time, my first time ever, I was buying my flight to Italy. So when I came out with my friend, we're waiting for an Uber, and then she's like, what are you up to? And I'm like, I'm literally buying a flight right now for my Europe trip. That was crazy. 4 days later, I'm flying back to San Francisco home, and I'm buying another flight to another Europe trip I have. But you know what? It's Europe Grove summer. I want to travel, see all my besties and all, so I'm excited to do that. And then my other spiral was I actually bought, Juan and I have been on a jewelry grind. I feel like we always buy jewelry when we travel. And so I did buy 2 new rings.
Oh.
I have this one and then this one too, which I'm obsessed with. I've been wearing them like nonstop. I really have been trying to build my gold collection. So
Yes.
I will say that was also a spiral moment. And I have others in PR, so forever, I think really special to me. And instead of buying like shirts and stuff now, I feel like I'm gonna start buying jewelry. Like that'll be a lot more special to me.
I love that. Something interesting that you mentioned is traveling, or like our spiral moments are traveling. I think low key, people are scared to say that they're traveling, but I think it's low key a very great way to stand out too in the corporate space, because that is a really great way to connect with people, right? You can always just be like, for example, I have a lot of clients that are all over the United States. Anytime I talk about, oh, I'm going on this trip, right? It's a really great way to connect. So I think that's also like a great segue into what we're going to talk about next.
You're fair. Like, I think that is a good segue, right? Because we want to be able to talk about like people. And I think something specifically I want to talk about, it's June, you guys. It's the first day of, or couple first days of the summer. Hot girl summer.
Yep.
Point is that I think a lot of interns have started their first jobs. Hello, interns.
Interns.
Hopefully you're watching.
Please subscribe.
Yes. And I think we both had really cool internships when we were juniors in college a couple years ago now. And I think that I want to focus on 2 different segments here. One, advice for people, Gen Z in corporate, but also maybe a little different segmentation because our interns are also Gen Z. Maybe what that's like when you're first starting your first corporate internship. Yeah.
Dang. For me, it was a crazy experience. I interned at Warner Brothers in LA doing movie marketing. So that was my very first internship ever being in the corporate space, which I think is just like a crazy experience because I am from Sacramento and I was studying at Berkeley. And so this internship was literally in SoCal. On my first day of my internship, or the day before my internship starts, I find out that I'm scammed and I don't have housing anymore. So I show up to LA, I don't have a house, I need to just figure out where I'm staying. Ended up working out okay, I got the money back. But my experience in corporate, I think was very eye-opening, especially in a place like entertainment where it's more traditional than a place like tech, where it's more hierarchical, right? Like dressing up, being in office at very strict hours, making sure that you're able to, you can't just like, jump communications to people that are higher than you. People I feel like are just less accepting of these things. You have to be more respectful of the hierarchy. So my experience was crazy, but in a very positive way. I learned a lot. It was such a fun experience. Literally to this day, why I want to move back to LA. Watch our our second episode. Watch our second episode if you want to learn more about our city's topic. But anyway, that was my experience.
Well, can I ask you though, what do you think was your brand as an intern, and how did you build a brand? It was your first time having a corporate space. Like it sounds like it was very hierarchical. I'm just curious, like what was your brand and how did you think you made it as an intern?
Yeah. I think when you're an intern, what's really important is to be very curious. And that was definitely my brand as an intern. So I was interning for the Latin American marketing team, and my team had offices all over Latin America. And one of the biggest offices, the biggest revenue generating like countries that we have was Brazil. And so one of the things that I did was like I leaned into that curiosity and I started learning Portuguese with the rest of my team. And that was something that really made me stand out with my VP and made really great connections that way. People that I still know to this day. Hi, if you're watching from WB. Raro. Yes, I feel just being curious, coming hot, but like being humble. Make sure not to be like, I know everything, because you don't know more than these people that are working full time. But
Very
just
true.
come in with, oh, I'm excited to learn. And people always want to be helping people who are younger.
I agree 100%. There's 2 things that I'm like hearing there too. It's definitely like being curious. And I think like one thing that I always like as an intern, I still do it to this day, is I call it a spicy question stock. I'm not sure who started it, but as an intern, I think it was my intern manager actually. And basically whenever someone would ask a good question, then I was like, dang, I wish I would have thought about that. I made it a point to write down these questions. And to the day I still do this. So I do this with like managers, with like head of industries even. Like whenever they have a good question, I'm like, dang, I wish I would have thought about that. And so now I have a spicy questions doc where I like have all these different questions that like one day I hope if I ever need to, I can reference this back and be like, this is a good question for the leader. And I definitely think that comes with like being curious and like also just learning, because you're an intern. You're only like what, maybe 20, maybe 21. And I definitely feel like that's also like a big piece of it as well.
Yeah. You don't have any commitment when you're an intern. So just make sure you are able to stand out with that curiosity. And I love that way of like bringing the questions.
Yeah, and I think like also don't be afraid to take projects above your internship if it's possible. Obviously, it's different depending like which vertical you're in, like what business unit you're in, but definitely if you know there's something or a way to build community, whether that's like putting on a panel or if it's like I'm trying to think like maybe like a bowling night for the team or whatever. Like don't be afraid to also do things outside of your core role basically. As an intern, it sounds daunting because you're so new and all, but if you have the support from other teammates or your manager, I definitely do think it's worthy to try to build community outside of just your core role.
Totally. Brittany, you interned at our current company, which is like crazy and a huge accomplishment because those internships are so highly coveted and very prestigious. How would you give any advice to people who want to get that return offer?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, you guys, you have to be memorable. Yes, I think it's all about doing well in your current role and whatever those KPI/metrics are. Yes, make sure you do your best to hit them, but it's all about having a good story. And I know for me, I had my manager, my mentor who I was close to, and I wanted to make sure, hey, when it comes down to it, I want you to be able to advocate for me. How can I help you advocate for me? And it came down to be like, okay, I want to hear more about your story. If you missed this one metric, tell me why you missed it and how you learned from that experience. Now you improved on that the next time. And it just comes down to, again, building that personal brand, trying to do more things outside of your current core role and just trying to be memorable. And again, that comes with what your brand is. Because again, you can, if you have 10 people that all hit their metrics or all did really well on their KPIs, but you have 2 that you happen to know their life story. You happen to know that they're active on LinkedIn. You happen to know that they wanted to build community because I think that is so much more impactful. It's all about being very well-rounded, I would say.
And also like part of that, as you mentioned, having people who advocate for you, having mentors. And we talked about this in episode 2, watch it if you haven't done it yet, but you need to have people that are able to support you 100%. And are going to want to keep you when they have those like conversations about retention. So make sure you have the right relationships, just being friends with like your other interns that are in your cohort, but actually like making sure you make an effort to build a relationship with people that are working full time or your hiring managers or even people that are higher than that.
Yes, and we do give like tactical recommendations in that second episode. I definitely recommend it's more still for like full time, but I will say as an intern, you're trying to embody to get that full time return offer, and I think a lot of the advice we gave there will be relevant for your experience.
Totally.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for you, Juani.
Okay.
Say maybe someone's already maybe in their full-time role, but maybe they're a little bit shyer. Maybe they don't.
Okay,
maybe they're just a little bit less like outgoing. I'm curious,
Normal.
like what are some other ways that maybe, or some advice even you can give to them to hopefully help also build their personal brand?
I think we'll get into the nonverbal communication piece later, which is how you can become more likable. And some of the things I'll share just as a quick teaser is, for example, making sure that you're seen, that you're visible, right? If you're sitting in the back of the table, if you're not taking a seat at the table, if you're not bringing things up, people are not going to like you as much as if you're just always present. There's this like actually psychological effect that people have where they like you more the more they see you and the more exposure they have to you.
Right.
And this is actually really well studied. So I would say just show up and be consistent. And yeah, I mean, we'll have other tips like synchronicity, for example. So if you see them wearing one thing, try to match what they're wearing. Try to eat the same thing that they're eating. Just like very subconsciously, they're gonna like you that way. I don't know. I love psychology, so I'll talk about this for hours. But yeah, what do you think?
New episode for
Literally,
sure.
new episode coming up.
I definitely agree with you all too. I think like you were like hinting at it. Don't be afraid to like say something. Like, I know that's not the best advice because you're a bit shyer, but truly for you to be able to succeed in your career, you need to be open to sharing your ideas. And I think that just comes with also just having management like you. Don't be afraid. Maybe start off with like a simple lunch even, where like maybe you're just engaging more in conversation, you're trying to be more of an active participant. And again, I think that question stock is like what helped me also build confidence, like when speaking with leaders, because I was like, okay, I want to be able to ask you really good questions. So, and don't be afraid to prepare. Like, I love a good agenda. We talked about this too. We're a Capricorn.
Agenda Capricorn.
We love an agenda moment. And I do think that helped me stick to a guide. And I was like, okay, at this lunch or in this meeting, I want to be able to talk about this and this. Cool, let me do that. And I think, like, again, don't be afraid to get feedback from your manager, from your teammates. Be like, hey, during this team meeting, I shared something about this and this. I'm curious. I want to hear about what you think about my public speaking. I'm curious what you think about my idea. And at that point, you have to be okay and comfortable with maybe not getting rejected, but maybe getting some tough feedback. Because at the end of the day, like that's all it takes for you to become a better professional. It's gonna be being able to improve where your gaps are.
Yeah, and here's one last thing while we're on the topic of feedback. Always act excited to hear feedback. At the end of the day, feedback is a gift that you
Yes.
can receive from people.
Agreed.
And good feedback is especially like a treasure. And so when people are giving you feedback, act like you're very eager to learn and to actually listen to what they're saying. Ask them, hey, if you were in my shoes, give me advice. How would you do it differently when it comes to feedback? And that's a really good way. If you're on the shyer side where you don't know how to speak about your accomplishments, then that's a really good way to like segment that in. Okay, some of the things that I've worked on are these. You're telling me this is great feedback. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Like, how would you do this accomplishment that I had in a better way? And that's subconsciously just like telling them, oh, this person not only achieved, but they're actually excited to get better and learn.
Exactly. And that comes down to, again, being curious, leading with that curiosity mindset. And again, seeking out feedback, I think is such a good skill to have. Like truly the same way that you would want someone to be honest with you, like you can be honest with them too. I think there's like 2 steps here too. Giving feedback is also getting feedback, number 1, but giving feedback I think is also a tougher skill to develop. And I think I'm still learning even now. But once you can unlock those 2 things, like you're helping other people also be better by helping or learning yourself what can make you a better person.
Totally.
So yeah, it just comes down to a full circle. And again, just giving back. So
Yeah, exactly.
wow.
This was so fun, guys. Aw.
Yes, we're gonna miss you guys. I hope that this was helpful too. And if you guys are testing stuff out, whether it's the freaking emojis or it's like maybe going to a lunch and having a questions doc, let us know how it is. Let us know if you also have feedback for us. Maybe
Yeah,
our
what is your
lighting is
feedback for
rough.
us?
Maybe we're not funny enough. I don't know,
Maybe we
whatever
need
it
something
is.
more catchy. Let us know.
Let us know. Maybe we're
know.
delulu. We don't know.
Yeah.
So just let us know. We will.
Feedback's a gift, guys.
Feedback is a gift.
And you know what's also a gift? Commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Guys, we need to fund our Coachella artist passes for next year. And we cannot do this without you. So if you could please subscribe to our channel, please comment and share with your friends. We really appreciate it. That is how you're going to fund this podcast and help us continue coming.
Help us fund our next viral moment.
Exactly.
Please.
And then we'll film our Coachella experience. Just kidding. One day we'll get there.
It'll be so sick. But yes, guys.
Thank you guys for everything. We love you so much. And we will see you again for our next episode.